Warmly welcome to Exploring Miracles. I am exploring the text in the Course in Miracles, the lessons, and I'm doing my best to reflect on the lessons as I go with the text. And today we have come to lesson number 90, and this is still in the review part. We are always given these spaces in the in the lessons to let things sink in a bit, to land in them. So we will be reminded of two previous lessons here, lessons 79 and lesson number 80. So, what did lesson number 79 say? Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And lesson number 80 said, let me recognize my problems have been solved. And just a reminder to myself, not at least, that this voice, the Christ consciousness that speaks to us in A Course in Miracle, is not talking to our intellects or our logical minds, it's talking to our soul. So even if we don't think we can talk with our soul yet, just be open to this way, because the reward is not a small one. If we do that, just allowing ourselves to step back a bit and look from another angle. Okay, so lesson number 79. Let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. This is a turning point, a very quiet turning point. A Course in Miracle teaches that there is only one problem, and that is the idea that we are small and separated and alone and helpless in the world. We are separated from the divine. And when the belief that we are separate from God, and remember that God is only a sound. It's a name, it's a sound uttered by our throat and tongue and lips, God. It's the divine, the universe, the quantum field, the source, the force, name it. Something we love usually have hundreds or thousands of names, and this is part of the divine love. So let's not get stuck with the name God, even though I like that name very much. All right, so A Course in Miracles teaches us that that is our problem, the belief that we are separate from God. All other problems in relationships, money, job, health, identity are effects of this single belief that we are separate. I have all this endless problems coming and going. I think we can all relate to that. But we are helped here. We are not asked to do anything. We are helped into another way of seeing that, all right, actions may be needed, but this is not our problem. That we have all these reactions, because we are going into reactions and actions with our problems, and then we feel separation. So let's go ahead now. This lesson is asking us to see that the problem is never out there in the game of the world, in the theater of life, circus of life, events, happenings. The problem is always in our mind, because we have this idea, this misinterpretation of reality. This lesson corrects this a bit. We don't have to take a giant step. We just have to, oh, there is another way to look at this. Oh, tell me more. That's always a good way. Not even in this context, the Course in Miracles, where we learn to open ourselves more. Not like, like, all right, so what is this? I don't have any problems. Yeah, one can have that. What is it called in English? It's called attitude sometimes. But here we just go, as we can do with people too, who awaken our reaction, like, what? We can go like, all right, tell me more. It's always a good way because we open ourselves. When we say, what do you mean by that? We close. Tell me more. Open. So we are open here. Lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. That can be even more of a challenge because no, they haven't. But we will go deeper now. The correction that we long for, that we seek, the correction like, oh, I don't look from this angle now. I am a part of God. Oh, is this from where I can look at it? This is just a small shift. And that is the point here. The correction we need and we long for so much has already happened. How is that? The answer is already given. Is it? Because we are not waiting for salvation. We are learning to stop overlooking it. I remember my mother, when I was a small child, or even a teenager, and even an adult, she could tell me, but Teresa, look again. It was maybe something didn't work, or, the stereo, or you didn't get the homework. So, just look again. This is a very good advice. Have another look. And this is what we are doing here. We're just having another look at it. So the moment we correctly identify the problem, the only one, we also recognize that it has already been undone. Because separation was never real. We have never been separated, but we thought we were. What lesson 90 is telling us with this reviewing is that when the problem is misinterpreted, it seems unsolvable. When the problem is recognized correctly, it disappears. That's good. Because we do not solve any problem here, any real problem, by effort or control or struggle. We solve them by just accepting in our heart, in our soul, the correction of how we perceive ourselves. Are we separate or not? No, we're not. We're not separate, and there's an enormous power in that. So when we have this power, source power, divine power, do we have any problems really? No, we don't, because we have stepped into the power. And from there, we take the most excellent decisions. We know how to have boundaries. We know how to separate and see what is good for me, what is not good for me, because we look at everything from a place of light, and then we see this is what this is about. So our problem was that we were hiding in the shadows. oh, I have to solve. Oh God, this is difficult. When we step into the power, and that is what the course is about. We have the divine power. The problems will not look so horrible anymore. Again, this is not about emergency situations. I want to mention that now and then, because it's important to know that we have to take actions if we are threatened or it's an emergency situation. But this is about how we look at ourselves in the existence that we are suddenly find ourselves in our lives. From what view inside are we looking at ourselves and the world? So this is not about emergency situations. If you found your way here, you probably are familiar with that, but I'm just saying, because I think it's important. Sometimes I get stuck in that kind of thinking myself, like, no, this is not true. No, but the true problem, looking from the wrong place inside, from a weaker place. So put very simply, we could translate this review lesson number 90 to I have been looking in the wrong places. There is only one problem, and it's already answered. And also, I can rest. We all need to rest, don't we? So nothing really is lacking, and nothing needs to be fixed. How to practice this in daily life? That's a task. So we ask ourselves, what am I believing right now? Am I seeing separation as real? And then we can just go gently with ourselves. Let me recognize the problem, so it can be solved. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. All again, this is not wishful thinking. This is finding the place inside where we are acting from a place of true power. So a little review, a small review maybe is more correct. Lesson 86 and 90 form a complete arc. 86 was only God's plan works. And 87 was only God's will is real. Lesson 88, also a review lesson, only God's laws govern me. And 89, 89, miracles replace grievances. And this lesson, number 90, the problem is gone because I know that I'm not separated. So this brings us to rest. There are no other laws than God's. I have stepped into my true power, and the problem, when I know that, is no longer here. I don't have a problem anymore. Let's just accept this. And we have a couple of more lessons to go and really get marinated in this new way of perceiving ourselves and everything. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate so much that fellow human beings out there in the world are taking part. We need this more than ever to know that we are not separated, because we need to step into our power now. So let's just go for it. Thank you.